I'm Rebecca Pigram, Public Information Officer for Rockingham County. Today, we are joined with our County Manager, Lance Metzler. Lance, thank you so much for joining us today.
Absolutely. Glad to be here.
Perfect. So I really want to touch on just kind of some stuff that's going on in Rockingham County, kind of update the folks at home, what we've got going on in the county, big projects, major projects that we've accomplished, that we're working on, that we're looking forward to. So thank you for sitting down with me. I know you've got a busy schedule.
Sure.
So like I said, this is just really to inform the public of what we've got going on in the county. First, I wanted to touch on our Broadband Connect Rockingham program. We are coming up on our 2-year mark with that. So just kind of wanted to touch base, see where we were with connecting everybody in the county with broadband internet.
Sure. So this is one of the projects that I'm really proud of. During COVID, we learned how reliable we were on the internet broadband.
Absolutely.
Or the lack thereof in Rockingham County. It's important for not only education, but teleworking and just working in general and shopping from home. So it was important that we made availability to all residents in the county. So we went through the project. We were one of the first, by the way. We were one of the first counties in the state of North Carolina to begin this program, taking on ownership of this project with Spectrum. So we teamed up with Spectrum, we teamed up with the community college, the public schools, and the Reevaluation Area Foundation to develop about a $16.2 million budget. And the goal was to have everyone have availability or access to broadband by January of 2024. And we're still on track with that. We've gotten over 1,800 connect points right now, and we'll have close to 4,000 in January 2024. So, and it's good also that we have our Derek Southern, our assistant county manager, that's in the process with this, because there's a lot of points that weren't considered, but after they've gone through the process, they found additional points to consider. So we're on target, we're on schedule, and we look forward to providing that availability to everybody.
Perfect. Like you said, that connectivity, internet, it's one of those things that you kind of have to have. It's like water and power and electricity. You have to have that to function properly in today's world. So I'm really happy to hear that we're on track to meet our goal for January of 2024. Okay, Lance, let's talk a little bit about the financial stability, the responsibility that the county has to our residents. Maybe let's touch a little bit on our property tax rate in Rockingham County.
Sure. So this year is the 14th consecutive year that we've not had a tax increase. I can't promise that in the future with cost of things going up, but for right now, this is the 14th consecutive year that we've not had a tax increase. I think that staff and our commissioners have done a great job in making sure that we maintain a fiscally responsible budget every year. We're able to provide the services that we can with the funding we've got. Sales taxes have improved greatly since COVID. We are starting to see a peaking point, so eventually they'll come down some, but we're seeing a really success in that. And the growth rate in the county is really taken off, especially the southwest quadrant of the county. So we're seeing a lot of development that way. So that's kind of offsetting some of the costs that we have. And it's important that we make sure that we maintain a sense of diversifying our revenue stream so the burden's not always on the taxpayer.
Absolutely.
So we're doing that on a regular basis.
Perfect. I personally have been working with Todd Hurst, our tax administrator, quite recently, just about the things that he's handling, he's dealing with. Our big ticket item in our tax department right now is our 2024 revaluation. Can you share a little bit about, from your perspective, from a county manager's perspective, about the tax reevaluation?
Sure. So this tax reval, I've been through several in my 30 years, but this reval will be a little different than the ones I've seen in the past. So, as you know, that if you fall below 85% or 115%, you're required to do a revaluation. And right now, I think we're close to 92%. So, we're going through the reevaluation process right now. It's coming to an end. We're going to have a presentation to the commissioners in the near future and start talking to the public here. But it seems like it's going along very well. We're looking forward to getting the news out to the public about
Absolutely.
the reval, and I'm sure they're anxious to find out what the reval is going to do to them.
Absolutely, in their property and that kind of
Yes.
thing. Okay, let's shift gears a little bit and talk about our environmental projects that we're working on. I know Jason Bird down in Soil and Water. They've been gifted, I believe, a grant to help remove debris and kind of the trees and leaves that have built up in our streams and rivers. Let's talk a little bit about that project and what that looks like now, now that a state budget has been passed for this year.
It's a great program. Jason Bird has done a great job with that. So we received $500,000 this past year, and we're going to apply for more funding. But it's a great opportunity. As an active kayaker, I've seen the debris back up, particularly where the old railroad trestles are, and it's important to be able to clean that up so the water can flow better, so it doesn't cause erosion and cause or impede the flow of the water. And so they've done a great job, not only with the streams, but the rivers, the money that we're getting this year. It's a really good program, and it really helps out.
Absolutely. And that goes, I was explaining this to somebody the other day. It's not, when you hear debris, you think of trash or litter and that kind of thing. It's not necessarily that kind of debris that they're removing. I mean, they're removing trees that have fallen, leaves that have fallen and collected in areas that truly allows water to flow through our rivers and streams. That benefit obviously the ecosystem of those rivers and streams, but the surrounding areas like our farmers and that kind of thing. So it's a wonderful project, and I'm glad to hear that we've gotten some more money with that. Speaking of our farmers, what about our farmland preservation? I took note on that. Can you expand a little bit on that?
Sure. So the Farmland Preservation Program is an opportunity for the county to get involved in helping preserve our rural character as we are. The board approved funding this year to go towards a match from the state. So every dollar that we put in, the state puts in money and the property owner puts in money to do, I would say, a conservation easement for the properties to have that stay as farmland so we can preserve it, because we're getting growth pressures from all over the place. And people move to Rockingham County for its rural characteristics. So we want to preserve that. And I think the board sees that, and they want to make sure that we preserve what we have.
Perfect. So it sounds like, we mentioned a couple of minutes ago that we are growing, and we're looking for revenue sources that don't fall directly on our taxpayers. So with that, it comes with growth, especially in certain areas of our county. But it also seems like this farmland preservation project, we're still trying to hold on to that rural aspect. That's what makes Rockingham County so great. Perfect. Okay. Let's talk a little bit about our landfill. I know there was a project with natural gas that our landfills are handling. Can you elaborate on that a little bit more?
Yes, so I'm very proud of this project. We are looking at converting the landfill methane gas into renewable natural gas to
Perfect.
sell back to the pipeline. And so we went through the process, the bid process, and we came up with the conclusion that Waga was the company that we were interested in having to convert this landfill methane gas into natural gas. And so we went to Waga, to their production place in Canada, to look at their facilities, to look at some of the landfills, found that they were the company that we were seeking to do this. It's going to be a great asset of the county. We can actually reuse the methane landfill gas, convert that, and be able to get royalties from that. So we're really excited about that. Currently, we're flaring off the methane gas, and this will be able to capture money to come back to the county for that.
Perfect. So another source of revenue,
Yes.
possibly for the county.
Yes.
Wonderful. That's awesome to hear. Okay, let's shift gears a little bit on behavioral health, also known as mental health, programs that we've got going on in Rockingham County. Um, so there was a behavioral health assessment that has been done and has been released to the public by our county government, Reedsville Area Foundation, several other local organizations, but also a consulting group called Crescendo. Can we touch a little bit about that and that kind of assessment that's happened in Rockingham County?
Yes, so the Crescendo came to Rockingham County to do a gap analysis, basically find out where our gaps are within mental health and substance abuse. And so they have conducted a study. They've met out with the public. They've had several focus groups to figure out what the gaps are, where we need to make up those gaps. And so they're going to have a presentation to the commissioners, actually this next coming meeting, November the 6th, to talk about where those gaps are and where the county needs to focus our efforts on with mental health and substance abuse.
Perfect. Okay, so talking about mental health and substance abuse a little bit further, I believe there's a program going on in our jail, our county jail, medical assistant treatment. It's about a $15 million project. Can we expand a little bit on that one as well?
Well, the $15.8 million is actually the overall opioid settlement funds we have.
Okay.
And the medical assistance treatment program is part of that. And so basically there is one for the detention facility and one for the public and the public health department. We have on the upcoming with the Board of Commissioners for them to evaluate and to approve the medical treatment facility for the public health department so they can begin. And basically that's a program where we assist those who are on substance abuse, that they get treatment. And that's a very proactive approach that we have to addressing that. As you know, in the United States, the drug abuse is one of the leading epidemics that we have out there with mental health. And so the public health side will take care of the general public, but we're also looking at implementing one in our jails, our detention center. As we have people that come in, they have addictions, and so this program will help wean them from the addiction they're on, and hopefully when they get back out in society, they'll be able to come out as a functional individual who will help and be a positive plus for society.
Wow, that's wonderful. I know that in my research of mental health, problems and issues, resources, truly giving people a chance to better themselves, giving them the resources is the first step in bettering our society with that. So it's wonderful that that's going on in our detention center here in Rockingham County. I know we talked about that as far as the detention center, but is the post-overdose response team, is that any different? Is that the same as the medical assistance treatment program?
That's a little different. So
Okay.
I'll give you an example. So if an individual overdoses in the community, or paramedics and law enforcement come to the scene, the PORT program is available to, if they're willing, if the individual is willing, then we'll provide 7 days of Suboxone or some other drug assistance to help them through until they can get into a facility to be treated. So it's another way to be able to get out there and help those folks that are addicted to drugs.
Perfect. So you said something about if they've the PORT, P-O-R-T, post overdose response team. That's what we call it. That program, that team gives, like you said, a drug to someone that's experienced an overdose to get them to a medical facility. What kind of medical facilities are available? Are we working on anything like that within the county?
We do identify a variety of different facilities that are available. But again, like you said, the PORT program is a bridge. It's a 7-day bridge, so the individual has 7 days to get to those facilities, which we provide a list of those facilities to the individuals. So the success rate is very good with this program.
Perfect. Wonderful. Okay, let's talk a little bit about a behavioral health care, urgent care. Can you elaborate a little bit on what that is for us?
Okay, I'll call it a BHUC, but again, it's a behavioral health urgent care.
Okay.
And the county is currently working on renovating one of our existing facilities to have a BHUC available. It's a BHUC Light. It's a facility that will hold an individual for 23 hours, so they can be assessed and placed in the right area. And it's both for children and for adults. We're excited about that because, again, as you see, we're dealing with mental health and substance abuse, and that's a big problem in society today. And we're trying to see if we can resolve these things and help these individuals get back to where they need to be.
Perfect. So again, it's just another resource for our residents here in Rockingham County to benefit, to better themselves mentally and physically in that sense.
Yes.
Perfect. Well, let's shift gears a little bit. I know we're talking about the medical things that are going on in Rockingham County. Super exciting that we just unveiled a mobile dental clinic for our school-age kids. Can you touch on that? Maybe explain from a county manager's perspective what that means to you to have that in the county.
It is a great resource, and many counties don't have this. It's an opportunity for us to be able to provide dental assistance to those children that might not otherwise have that availability. So it's really exciting. We're using the elementary schools. We're going to the elementary schools. And during the summer when they're not in the schools, we'll have the facility here so we can assist both adults and children. But it's just an opportunity for us to be able to provide additional assistance out there where the kids normally wouldn't be able to have that opportunity.
Absolutely. I was talking to our public health director, and he was explaining that, you know, when you take a kid out of school, that just to go to a doctor's appointment or whatnot, that can throw off their schedule. So the fact that we're bringing a dental clinic to them to work on their oral health or oral care is tremendous. They don't have to miss much school. If they have to miss any, we bring it to them. It's a service that we're providing for our school-age kids, so that's wonderful.
Yes.
Let's talk a little bit. We've mentioned, you and I, about a mobile public health clinic.
Yes.
What does that look like? What would that look like in Rockingham County?
It will be an opportunity for us to be able to get out into the rural community. Those people who don't have access to get to Wentworth, to the public health department, we'll be able to go to them. So we'll set up in a variety of different areas across the county to be able to provide assistance to those who normally can't get here. And that will offer all types of opportunities for the health department and for the citizens here.
Absolutely. Again, it's just another resource that, you know, we're providing those kinds of services to our residents to make sure that they're healthy and living their best life here in the county.
Yes.
Perfect. Okay, so switching gears just a little bit more, still positive things. Hogans Creek Park, it just opened. Let's talk a little bit about that, what that project was, what it looks like, and what folks at home can expect from Hogans Creek.
Yes. Well, as we've talked about with COVID, we needed opportunities for our citizens to be able to get out in the community, walk around, to be outside. So Hogans Creek Park was a project we started in 2018. Duke Energy donated over 100 acres for the county. So we have actually had a lot of work on that. We've developed a trail. We have a picnic shelter out there. We have the bathrooms out there. It's a place eventually we want to have a dog park out there. We want to have frisbee golf. We want to make sure that we have an opportunity for our citizens here to have to utilize our outside area. Rockingham County is known for its natural aesthetics that we have, and I want to make sure that we have opportunities for people to take advantage of that.
Perfect. And it's a beautiful place. I went out there recently. It is quite the park. It's a nice walking trail, like you said, that you hope to expand. It's a nice concrete platform. That there's picnic shelter, or there's picnic tables, a bathroom, which is huge.
The shelter will be built there.
Perfect.
Yes.
Perfect. So it's open to the public now, but we're still working on.
It's a work in progress.
It's a work in progress.
Yes.
Perfect. Okay. Well, let's talk a little bit. I know in the past we've talked about an indoor firing range.
Yes.
What does that look like? What would that look like? Where are we on that project? If you want to explain on that.
So currently, the board approved funding for the firing range. We have also been working with the North Carolina Wildlife on funding. We work with Ruger on funding. So we've got funding in place for the firing range. We've got the design made for the firing range. The key is to find someone to manage that. We're currently working on that. Hopefully we'll have something in place in the near future and be able to have start construction on that. We don't want to start construction on a facility if we don't have a manager yet. So once we find a manager to manage that facility, then we'll open it up. But it will be a nice facility. It'll be 10,000 square feet. We'll have 12 shooting lanes and retail area. Have opportunities for ladies' night out or the kids to be able to have access to it, to be able to get there, to familiarize themselves with how to shoot guns, how to shoot rifles, and so forth.
Perfect. Now, will that be something that's maintained by the county, or I know you said something that we're looking for someone to manage that? Is that going to be like a separate entity?
The third party will manage it and maintain it.
Perfect.
Yes.
Perfect. And where will that be located when a manager is found?
It's off of 704. It's near the existing outdoor firing range.
Okay,
Yes.
perfect, perfect. Well, Lance, we've talked about a ton of stuff today, a lot of great projects going on in the county, both that benefit our environment, our residents, and Rockingham County as a whole. Thank you so much for sitting down with me. Is there anything else that you'd like to add to our conversation today, or let the citizens at home know?
I just want to thank you for your time. I want the citizens to know that anytime they have any questions or concerns, please feel free to call me up. I have an open door policy. Anytime that the citizens want to talk to me, find out information, please do not hesitate to call. They can reach me at 336-342-8101.
Perfect. Lance, again, thank you so much for your time. If you at home have any questions for me, Rebecca Pigram, your Public Information Officer, feel free to give me a call, 336-589-0967.